At 95, Clint Eastwood is still a living legend whose life and career have spanned decades. A man who became synonymous with toughness, independence, and quiet strength, Eastwood's journey from a humble beginning to Hollywood icon is as much about resilience as it is about artistry. He was born Clinton Eastwood Jr. on May 31, 1930, in San Francisco, California. Raised during the Great Depression, his family moved frequently as his father sought work. Despite a modest upbringing, Eastwood showed promise from a young age, excelling in sports and developing a keen interest in music and mechanics. Yet, it wasn't until after his military service in the Korean War that Eastwood turned to acting, initially through drama classes and small roles. His breakthrough came with the TV Western Rawhide, which led to his iconic roles in the Dollars trilogy and ultimately to his illustrious career as an actor, director, and producer. The transformation into a cinematic icon. Eastwood's journey into stardom was far from easy. After gaining fame with Rawhide, he was cast in the Dollars trilogy, where director Sergio Leone helped him craft the now iconic Man with No Name character. With minimal dialogue and piercing eyes, Eastwood's portrayal in A Fistful of Dollars, 1964, For a Few Dollars More, 1965, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 1966, revolutionized the Western genre, cementing his status as an international star. These films turned him into a cinematic icon, admired for his minimalist approach and commanding presence. Eastwood's portrayal of morally ambiguous characters, who let their actions speak louder than words, became his hallmark, and it was this tough, enigmatic persona that earned him a special place in Hollywood history. Eastwood's evolution as a director. By the 1970s, Eastwood's career took a bold turn as he began to evolve from actor to filmmaker. His breakthrough as a director came with the thriller Play Misty for Me, 1971, followed by High Plains Drifter, 1973, where his directorial style began to reveal his deep understanding of human complexities and moral ambiguity. While Eastwood had already established himself as an action star with Dirty Harry, 1971, it was his work behind the camera that showed his range as a storyteller. These films reflected his growing sensitivity as an artist, exploring themes of isolation, regret, and the gray areas of morality. Throughout his career, Eastwood's films increasingly delved into deeper emotional territory. From The Outlaw Josie Wales, 1976, to his Oscar-winning Unforgiven, 1992, which solidified his place among the greatest directors in Hollywood. Clint Eastwood's impact on cinema. As Eastwood's career continued to evolve, he remained a force of nature in the film industry. In the 1980s, he diversified his work with films such as Bronco Billy, 1980, Honky Tonk Man, 1982, and Pale Rider, 1985, each one showcasing a different side of his artistic talent. His exploration of complex, layered characters set him apart from many of his contemporaries, allowing him to craft films that resonated deeply with audiences. The 1990s, however, marked the peak of Eastwood's directorial career. Unforgiven, a meditation on violence and redemption, earned 4 Academy Awards and is widely regarded as one of the greatest films ever made. He continued to deliver powerful performances and directorial achievements into the 2000s with films like Mystic River, 2003, and $1 Million Baby, 2004, both of which earned him multiple Academy Awards, including Best Director and Best Picture. Clint Eastwood reflects on Jack Palance. At 95, Clint Eastwood is reflecting on the legends of Hollywood who shaped his career, and one figure who stands out is Jack Palance. Known for his intense presence and rugged performances, Palance was one of the most formidable actors of his time. Eastwood, who worked with Palance on several occasions, has never before publicly spoken at length about their relationship. Now, in his later years, Eastwood shares his honest perspective on the man who became one of the most iconic villains in cinematic history. "Jack was a force," Eastwood admits. He had this reputation for being tough as nails, unpredictable, and ready to go off script. But once you got past that, You saw a man who was deeply committed to his craft. Jack Palance, a man of intensity. Eastwood recalls his first encounter with Palance on set, noting how Jack's sheer presence could stop a room cold. "You didn't need to speak with Jack. He commanded attention as soon as he walked in," Eastwood says. "I remember him saying to me once, 'Kid, never fake fear. Either feel it or don't do the scene.' That stuck with me for the rest of my career." These words, Eastwood acknowledges, shaped the way he approached acting and directing. For Palance, acting wasn't just about playing a role, it was about embodying a character. This authenticity and raw intensity left a lasting impression on Eastwood, whose own work would later come to reflect similar themes of realism and emotional honesty. The unpredictable Palance. A complex relationship. Despite his admiration for Palance, Eastwood acknowledges that working with him was often intimidating. Palance had a volatile personality, sometimes charming and humorous, other times stern and intimidating. You never knew which version of him you'd get on any given day, Eastwood admits. Sometimes he was all charm, other times he could glare at you like he was about to start a duel. But that unpredictability, that's what made him so great on screen. You couldn't fake that presence. Palance's volatility wasn't a gimmick. It was part of who he was. This unwavering commitment to authenticity was something Eastwood deeply respected, especially in an industry that often relied on superficiality and artifice. Lessons learned from Jack Palance. For Eastwood, Palance was more than just a talented actor. He was a teacher. "Jack taught me something important," Eastwood recalls. He said, "You can't survive in this business without a little bit of mystery." He didn't care about fitting in or being liked. He just wanted to be real. This advice resonated with Eastwood, whose own career has been defined by his commitment to authenticity, independence, and stoicism. Palance's refusal to conform to Hollywood norms was something Eastwood admired deeply. It was a reminder that in an industry built on illusions, true authenticity was the hardest and most valuable thing to maintain. Palance's reputation and Eastwood's respect. Many in Hollywood considered Palance difficult to work with due to his bluntness and exacting standards. However, Eastwood dispels some of the myths about Palance's reputation. People said he was hard to work with, but that wasn't really true, Eastwood reflects. Jack just didn't tolerate nonsense. He expected the best from everyone because that's what he gave himself. For Eastwood, this shared work ethic formed the foundation of their mutual respect. Both men were driven by a desire for excellence and a deep dedication to their craft. Their connection was built on discipline, not ego, and it was this respect for one another's commitment to their art that formed the basis of their relationship. A legacy of authenticity and respect. Looking back on his time with Palance, Eastwood expresses a quiet gratitude for having worked with such a remarkable talent. Jack was one of the last of a dying breed, Eastwood reflects. He carried himself like he belonged to another time, when actors didn't just play heroes or villains, they lived them. For Eastwood, Palance represented the last of the old-school Hollywood legends, a performer who didn't need to act brave because he already was. It's this authenticity and commitment to craft that Eastwood admires most about Palance, and it is this legacy that continues to shape his own work today. If Jack were here today, Eastwood concludes, I'd tell him I learned a lot just by watching him. He reminded me that authenticity is everything.